voice note summary. No. It's the same. We're allowed to, no, I don't have a summary. We're going to go over it now.
Okay.
So we Toldot, right? Darush Aleph. The first pasuk, right, in the parasha says, Ve'ele Toldot Yitzhak ben Abraham. Right? These are the generations of Yitzhak, the son of Abraham. And as she says, who are these generations? Yaakov and Esav that are written in the parasha. Those are his words. All right? And the question is, why is Rashi even writing this? We know the whole parasha is all about Esav and Yaakov. There's no reason, right? And we have a bunch of Pesukim that are saying it. So that's the first question. The second question is, it seems like Rashi feels, right, that because that what he has to write something because of what it says in the Midrash regarding the word when a pasuk starts with the word ele versus the word ve'ele with a vav. Ele, when it says Aleph Lamed Hey, ele adevarim, it's coming to exclude on the first stuff.
Right.
And ve'ele is coming to add and connect to what was just said.
Right, which was Yishmael.
Right, and if it's Yishmael, what's the purpose of saying ve'ele? What are you connecting Yitzhak with Yishmael? It makes no sense. And the third question we said is ve'ele Toldot Yitzhak ben Abraham. Do we not know that Yitzhak is the son of Abraham? What is the purpose of you telling me that he's the son of Abraham?
Correct.
Right, and then when we answer, because we want to show that the offspring of Yitzhak was able to do the same thing like Abraham did. The offsprings of Yitzhak was able to separate the nitzotzot of Kedusha from the kelipot, right? From the kelipot. And how do we prove this? Because we see by when Rashi says when Rivka goes to Shem va'Eved, and she asks, and she says, and they tell her, Shnei goyim bebitnech, two nations are in your belly, right? What does Rashi say? Antoninus, right, and Rebbe. Antoninus was the I think it was Greek or Roman. I'm not sure. I think it was Greek. All right, and Rebbe. And what's the and he doesn't say Rashi Goyim. Rashi doesn't say that they're two. What's it called? Nations. It says it doesn't say two heads of the nations. It just says Antoninus and Rebbe to show you that even because Antoninus comes from Esav, and Antoninus was a tzaddik. He was good. He waited on Rebbe, left it, hand and foot. And to show you on the other side also that you had Reshaim coming from Yaakov, like we learned in the Mishnah, and then we also say Elu she'en lahem chelik olam haba. Remember, we listed 3 kings and 4 regular people that lost that off of it on their olam haba because what they did, and that came from Yaakov, did not come from Esav. So you see that you have both, but you have Sadiq on both sides. You have from Esav and you have from Yaakov. Right, and that's why it says Toldot Yitzhak ben Abraham, because ultimately through the pregnancy of Rivka, right, you're gonna have the same type of people that just came out of like they came out of Abraham, right? Because he was able to separate the sparks of holiness from the kelipot themselves, right? And that's why it says Ela Toldot Yitzhak ben Abraham in Abraham's name, because Abraham was the first one to meet Gayed the Gerim. He's the one that paved the way for the Gerim, right? And we said like it's the primer on the wall when you paint. Right? We said to fix he was the first one to fix the Ruhaniyut level for the Gerim in order, but we said that the Kelipot was still left and there was still powers of the Kelipot that was holding in. Right? So therefore, that's the Ve'ele, even though you have one foot out the door, you're still connected to the Ishmaelim, right? Who you're still considered attached to Ishmael.
Right.
Because it wasn't completely done. Right, and then we went into why the second part of Rashi where it says Ha'amurim b'parasha, right? Why did it say the ones that are written in this parasha? We bring a Derosh Shemuel, it was 1694. He says, why did you have Esav and Yaakov? Because Yitzhak was the son of a Sadiq, and Rivka was a daughter of a Rasha. So you got that. You got one good, one bad, based on the fathers, right? But the Zera Shimshon asked, how could that be? If you look at Abraham Avinu, and you look at Sarah Imenu, both of their fathers were Reshaim, right? You had...
Correct. They're both their grandfathers.
Fathers? Which grandfathers? Abraham's father was who? Terah.
Correct.
Yeah, who's...
And Sarah. Sarah was
Nahor. So they were Reshaim. They weren't good.
Right.
But yeah, they had good children. They had Yitzhak. Right. They bore Yitzhak together.
So you can't be that.
It can't be that logic. It can't be the logic of having one good and one bad. Or, because Abraham technically would be 50-50.
Right.
50 good, 50 bad. That doesn't work. Right, and so technically, if that's true, even so then Yaakov and Esau both could have came out good, because that logic doesn't work. So why did Esav come out bad? According to Drasha, it's because one parent was good, one parent was bad, so it translates into the kids. But we just proved that doesn't work because you have Abraham and Sarah were both good.
Right.
Came from bad, and they had a good kid. So then the truth is, yeah, Esav also could have came out as a Sadiq, not just Yaakov. And we explain that the story of the parasha. What do we learn? That we learn that the reason the berachot that came to Yaakov came with trickery.
Right.
Why? Because even though he was more worthy of getting the berachot from Yitzhak than Esav, because he was the biggest Sadiq, right? Even though Hashem wanted to make it where the berachot
He,
would not come to Yaakov b'shalva, with
right.
happiness and ease. Why? Because he did it. Because if we did, then we would have got the berachot through olam hazeh. We would have enjoyed too much this olam
Right.
hazeh, and we never would have been able to be zocheh for olam haba because we would enjoy everything now. We'd cash it now.
And also, that's what Avram promised. He'd rather be in Golos than in.
Right. So what's that? Before that.
Okay.
So that's why Hashem orchestrated. We said that all these things would happen with Yaakov and Esav. So Yaakov and his offspring, right, us, will not enjoy the berachot except with da'aga and mora and afraidness of Esav. And why? And why? But to answer why can't we enjoy it so well is because we want us to have
Olam
olam
Haba.
haba, not olam hazeh. So therefore, Esav had to be created. Why? Because Yaakov and Esav have to continue to have conflict between them, right? In order, and this was the clincher,
Right.
to fulfill what Abraham wanted. Hashem comes to Abraham and tells him, all right, your children are going to sin. How do you want them to make up for it? You want them to go to Gehinam and they'll be cleansed over there? Or do you want them
Be in Golos.
to be in Galut? And Abraham Avinu picked Galut. So therefore, what's the beracha of Esav? That whenever Yaakov falls, you will rise above him.
Right.
You will rise above him. And in order for that to happen, you have to have the concept of Galut. Because like we said, Esav is the father of the Western culture.
Right.
And the divrei Rashi, all these things what Rashi is trying to explain. Yaakov and Esav to show you that what Abraham Avinu, that he was able to the nitzotzot, the kedusha, and for the gerim. The second part of Rashi that says Amorim b'parasha that I read in the parasha is because specifically Yitzhak is the son of Abraham, and Abraham chose the galut,
Right.
and therefore you needed Yaakov and Esav. Right? And from this whole parasha, what do you learn? That Yaakov Avinu cannot sit beshalva in happiness because of Esav, in order to fulfill what Avraham Avinu said. That let them go into Galut. And that is Ve'ela Toldot Yitzhak. Because he is the son of Abraham, and not because, don't think that it's because of Rivka, don't think that it's because the Rivka Zera Shimshon is the reason why Esav was created.
Right.
The reason why Esav was created was in order that we should not have too much good and enjoyment in this world, specifically so we could have Olam Haba and not Olam Hazeh. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen ve'amen.